Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jag, and in today's class we are going to continue with our Math 9 content. And today we're covering the volume of a cone. So with that, let's get started. On the board, I have the volume of the cone written down. It's 1/3 pi r squared h. Again, where r represents the radius of the cone and h is going to represent the height of the cone. Okay, so we're going to try actually a couple of examples today. Okay, so again, I'm going to read out the question and I'm going to write down what's given in the question on the board. Alright, so example 1. Tracy makes her own frozen yogurt treats in cone-shaped paper cups. Okay, determine the volume of the frozen yogurt treat shown to the nearest cubic centimeter. Alright, so I'm going to make like a really quick sketch here of the cone. Okay, this is basically like if you do go to the mall to buy frozen yogurt, you'll notice it's usually like a triangular shaped cup here. Okay, so we have the radius right here is 4 centimeters. Okay, and the height is given, and the height here is 12 centimeters. Okay, I'm going to put h. Okay, and this one is r. Alright, so you notice basically here all we're going to do is plug it into the formula. So it's going to be volume equals 1/3. And I'm going to put everything in brackets here, okay? So times 3.14 times 4 squared, okay? This is the radius. And the height is also given. The height is 12, so times 12. Okay, so when you're doing questions like this, okay, I can see that the formula is actually very simple. I have to make sure I write out the formula before I plug in any of the values, okay? And the teacher wants to see basically that one step where you are plugging in the values into the equation. And after that, I could just use my calculator and plug it in here, okay? So we're just going to multiply all these numbers together, okay? And times 1/3, okay? We are getting 200. I'm going to put 0.96, okay? This is going to be volume. So remember, this is centimeters cubed, okay? And again, it does say determine the volume of the frozen yogurt treat shown to the nearest cubic centimeter. We are rounding this to the nearest whole number, so 201. Okay, centimeters cubed, and I'm just going to underline that. Okay, just so we remember what we are rounding it to, as well as the units. The units should be cubed. Okay, and again, most of the questions you see will involve centimeters because that is the most common measurement. Okay, but again, if you see something in meters, make sure you are double checking that your answer is in cubic meters. Okay, are there any questions so far? All right, good. So let's try a variation, okay, of this question. Okay, and it's going to involve the same formula. Okay, but this time you'll probably have to do just one extra step here. Okay, so example 2, the volume of a sand pile. Okay, a conical pile of sand has a base diameter of 10 meters and the slant height is given. It is 8 meters. Okay, determine the volume of the sand in the pile to the nearest cubic meter. Okay, so I can see this question does involve, like I said, it does involve meters. Okay, so we're going to do like a quick sketch here. Okay, the slant height is given and I have the diameter that is given as well, so 10 meters. Okay, a lot of these questions, if they are application questions, most likely the radius won't be given. Okay, I will have basically the diameter here. Okay, now say I'm looking for the radius. Okay, I'm going to do 10 divided by 2. Oh, and the radius is 5 meters. Okay, so even when you're doing these calculations, make sure everything is in meters at the end. Don't forget to put the units down, okay? We don't want the teacher taking off marks for something really small like that. Alright, so we have to find the volume, okay? And again, if you're looking at the volume formula here, I do need the height, okay, of this cone, okay? So again, I'm going to use the Pythagorean Theorem. I'm looking for the height of the cone. I have the slant height, right? And I also have the radius. So again, if you want to just draw it in your diagram here, it looks like this, okay? And I already solved for the radius here, so we're going to just put it into the Pythagorean Theorem formula. And you notice here, I'm looking for one of the legs, okay, of the triangle. And instead of adding here, because I have the hypotenuse, I'm going to subtract it. So we're going to do 8 squared minus 5 squared. Okay, and again, you can skip some of the steps here. Okay, I don't think teachers are too picky at this point. So it says 64 minus 25. Okay, but you do have to make sure that you are showing this step here, and it's equal to 39. I'm going to take the square root of 39. Let's round it to 1 decimal, so 6.2 meters. Okay, and this is basically equal to the height, okay, of the cone. And again, I am not done there, so let's put number 1 here. And this will be step 2, where I'm just plugging it into my formula. Okay, so I'm going to write out the formula. So it's pi r squared h. Okay, and I'm just going to plug in each of these values that's given to me. So we're going to do 1/3 times 3.14. Okay, everyone can see that? And times the radius squared. The radius we got was 5. Okay, and the height is what we solved for in step 1. We got 6.2. So just like this. Okay, and we're just going to multiply everything. So again, remember 5 squared is 5 times 5. Okay, 3.14, and I'm going to times it by 1/3. Okay, and again, determine the volume of the sand in the pile to the nearest cubic meter. So I'm getting 162.23. I'm going to round that to 162 meters cubed. Okay, so it is really important that you can actually use this formula. Okay, again, you can see that this is a little bit of a variation. I had to do one extra step to actually find the height of the cone before I plug it into the actual formula. Okay, and there will be a lot of questions like that. Okay, especially like the thinking questions or the application questions. You will have to do like maybe 2 steps or a step before you actually use the formula. Okay, not all the questions will be straightforward. The straightforward questions are basically going to be the knowledge questions, and that's just to make sure that you know how to use the formula. All right, so with that, let's try this one last example. All right, so I'm going to take this off. Okay, and in this question is slightly different. Okay, but when you're doing the volume of a cone, there are a lot of questions where they will ask you for the height, and the teacher can give you the volume of the cone. Okay, and then you're just going to be looking for the height. So let's try this one. So a fountain firework is packaged in a conical container. Okay, its volume is given. It's 210 centimeter cubed. The diameter is 8 centimeters. And it's saying what is the height of the fountain firework to the nearest tenth of a centimeter. So when you round your answer at the very end for the height here, it has to be to 1 decimal place. Okay, so let's write out the formula here that's given. So pi r squared h. Okay, so the volume is given is 210. So whenever you're plugging it into the formula, okay, I don't need to put the units down here. Okay, so we're just going to leave it. So 1/3 and 3.14. Okay, and it's saying the diameter is 8 centimeters. I'm going to do 8 divided by 2, and the radius is 4 centimeters. So 4 squared times the height. Okay, let's still make a note on that. So it's 10 centimeters. Okay, yeah, it's in centimeters. Okay, and when I'm looking for the radius is just half of the diameter. Okay, oh sorry, this is 8, right? So I'll put 8 divided by 2, so 4 centimeters. Okay, and so what you're going to do here, I noticed that this is a very simple equation. I'm just going to be solving this equation. So we're going to take the 3 to the other side. Okay, I'm going to do 210 times 3, 630 times 3.14. 4 squared is just 16, so we'll just put 16 here, times h. Okay, and in one step, what I'm going to do here, okay, we're going to do 3.14 times 16. Okay, so I'm getting 50.24 h. Okay, everyone can see that? So we just did 16 times 3.14 in this one step. Okay, and this is just to show you that it's like a simple equation. I can always skip some of the steps. Okay, after I get really good at this, we're going to divide it by 50.24. Okay, on both sides. And the reason again that we're doing that is so the 50.24 cancels out, okay? And what I'm left with here is going to be just the height. So I'm doing 630 divided by 50.24, okay? And again, it says to find what is the height of the fountain firework to the nearest tenth of a centimeter. And we are going to round that to 12.5, okay, centimeters. All right, so just like this. So as you can see, in this question, the volume was given. I was given the diameter of this fountain firework, and I had to find out the radius by just dividing it by 2. Okay, and then I just plugged it back into the formula here because I had all the unknowns, and I was basically just looking for one unknown, which was the height. Okay, so when you're solving this simple equation, make sure you are checking your answer. So this is my final answer for the height. It's 12.5 centimeters. Okay, if I want to do a quick check or like even a quick mental check, I can just take this height and plug it back into this original equation. If you multiply this whole side of the equation, the volume should equal to 210, okay, centimeters cubed. So that's a great way to check it again because it's an equation. Both sides do have to be equal, and there shouldn't be any mistakes, okay, when you're doing a question like this. And at the same time, for each of these questions, okay, make sure you are writing a concluding sentence, okay? So say for this one, I would write the height of the conical firework is approximately 12.5 centimeters. Okay, the reason I'm writing approximately, again, is basically it's a decimal, and I've decided that I'm rounding it to the 10th of a decimal or a 10th of a centimeter here. Okay, so that brings this video to an end, and we calculated and went through the volume of a cone. And again, we did several different examples today, and I hope everyone understood how to do each of those examples. If you did like the content, make sure you're subscribing to my channel and click on the like button below. And I will see everyone next time. Thanks, bye.